All right, we're talking about reclaiming your power. Today we're going to talk about the power of intuition. We've talked about breaking free from fear. We've talked about setting bold boundaries and rediscovering your self-worth. I've got my notes here. Today we're going to talk about the power of intuition and trusting and following your inner voice. So what I think is funny is I just did this entire video and didn't turn on my microphone. So I got a great video with no sound. Perfect. So, trying this again. Hopefully, we've got audio this time. What we're going to talk about, I'm going to go over my notes here. Talk about power of intuition. And the first thing that you need to do is quiet the noise. We've all got these voices going on in our heads. Our parents, our teachers, our ex-partners, whatever. Being married for 25 years, I had my husband's voice in my head for the longest time. That's not going to work. We don't have the money. You've tried so many things, nothing worked. Excuse me. And all of these negative beliefs that he had in himself, he instilled in me, and it got ingrained in me. And it took a long time for me to clear that noise out of my head. I did a lot of writing, So how do you do that? How do you create a space for you to be able to listen to your inner voice? I did a brain dump. A brain dump is the greatest thing. All of the negative, all of the hurtful, all of these voices that are in your head, if you can write out everything that's going on in your brain that you can think of, and it's not going to happen all at one time. You're going to have to go back and do it again and again. But as you get that stuff out of your head, you make space. You make space to be able to listen to that inner voice. So I've talked about this before. I learned this from Sonia Choquette. I've named my ego the barking dog, the voice in my head that is constantly trying to protect me, telling me that I can't do this, that it's not safe, whatever. I named her Sadie. You've heard me talking about Sadie. Sadie is my barking dog. I've gotten very good at telling her to go sit down in the corner or go play in a meadow, whatever, to, just take her noise someplace else. I've named my quiet inner voice Sunshine because I want her to shine bright. I want to be able to acknowledge her, to know that she's there. And I can't do that when barking dog Sadie's going. When all those other voices are going in your head, it's very difficult to hear that soft, subtle voice. Doing a brain dump enables you to clear out some of that noise, clear out some of that, like we talked about yesterday, clearing out some of that mental clutter to be able to make room for you to be able to hear that voice. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to listen to your body, your gut responses, your physical responses, the reactions that you get. Maybe you get a tightness in your stomach, or for me, it's a tightness in my chest. I have a lot of pent-up grief that I work on letting go of. I'm not much of a crier, so crying is a great way to release that, but I have a hard time with that, going from way back. It's like, I'll give you a reason to cry about. Yeah, that kind of an upbringing. So if you get a tightness in your throat, that's your body telling you that you need to say something, but you're just not comfortable saying it. So pay attention to these responses. Pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. So two reasons for this is that the feelings that you have and the body's responses to what's going on with you are your soul's, your intuition, your spirit trying to talk to you. If you're not paying attention to that, that's when you get sick. That's when you end up with cancer. That's when you end up with asthma, for me, because you don't pay attention to those things. So track those feelings, write down how you felt, acknowledge these different feelings, and then you'll get more comfortable with knowing what you are experiencing whenever it comes up. The next thing is start small. Start with trusting your intuition on small decisions. If your intuition gives you a nudge to take a different route to work, take a different route to work. So Roy and I did this one time. We were driving home or driving to a job, and we went a different way than we normally go. And Roy's like, I don't know why I'm going this way. It wasn't any further out of our way. It just wasn't a usual route. Well, as we're driving along, we look off to the side, And there's this little kid, maybe 3 or 4 years old, running through this field. And we're like, did you see a parent? I didn't see a parent. Did you see an adult? I didn't see an adult. So we turn around and go back. I get out and I'm talking to this little kid. I'm like, where's your parent? Roy's on the phone calling the police. The police arrive. There's apartment buildings near that field. Apparently, the mom had fallen asleep. This little kid opened the door and went out and ran down the road, which the field was right on the road, and was headed to, I guess, his sister's bus stop to go meet her or something. I don't know. But this little kid was out there on his own. If Roy and I hadn't driven a different way than we normally went, who knows what had happened to this little kid? When you pay attention to these things, now that's a big thing. I've gotten to the point, Roy has gotten to the point where we pay attention to our nudges. We pay attention to when our gut is telling us something. And let me explain this. Not every time. There are some times when I'm like looking back going, oh, damn, I knew that. I should have followed it, but I didn't. So if you're tracking it on small things, then you're going to build up that knowledge and that assuredness that that hit is in fact your intuition speaking to you. So I do this with small things all the time. If I'm missing something or I need help trying to find something around the house, or if I need help with reminding myself for something, I will say out loud, and I'm talking to all of the energies, my ancestors, angels, guides, everybody that's around me. And sometimes Roy will answer because he thinks I'm talking to him. But I always say, hey, I need help finding, or can you help me find this? Or help me remember, please remind me. And I will get hits for remind me to call somebody, or remind me to go pick something up, or a hit, or hey, this is where this thing is. And I'll find things that I'm looking for in the weirdest places. I'm like, oh, I would have never looked there. But my intuition said, go here, look, move this book and find that, strange things. But I don't say that it's strange. I don't say it's weird. I don't say it's unusual, because it's not. It's a natural thing. We just don't listen to our intuitions very well. Because we've been taught that that's just woo, it's crazy, and it's not true. It is not possible, but it is. So if you track it with small things, you'll build and you'll grow, okay? The next thing is validating that intuition. So reflect on it. When it paid off, think about it and reflect on it and go, okay, so I did this. I felt like I needed to do this. My intuition said do this, and it actually paid off. That's a great thing. As you do this, and the more that you validate this, the more that you pay attention and say, for me, saying thank you is a big, saying thank you for me makes all the difference. I feel that the more I say thank you, think about it this way. If I do something for you and you say thank you, I'm going to be more inclined to help you next time. So I feel that if I say thank you, my guides, my intuition, my ancestors and angels are going to be more inclined to help me next time. If I'm showing gratitude for their assistance, they're more inclined to kind of help me out. If you're just like, it was a fluke, then why would they bother helping you? Why would they bother sending you those little nudges of what you could do, or how to help you out? No, acknowledge it, validate it, and then build your confidence by making it a habit to act on those intuitive hits. So for us, driving a different way and seeing this little kid, if we hadn't done that and hadn't followed up on that intuitive hit and be like, oh, no, this is not the way we normally go. Let's just go the way we normally go. Who knows what could have happened? Building your confidence by acknowledging those and by, saying, yeah, that actually did pay off, helps you to build the intuition for later on down the road with bigger things. So the 5 action steps that you can do today are, number 1, start spending like 5 minutes in silence. And I know silence is a hard one. For me, starting out, I really, really have struggled with this. So what I did is I had a notebook, and anytime I had a thought like, oh, you got to do laundry, I would write down laundry so that I would remember it and I could clear that thought out of my head. I have to clear space. I have to make room for my intuition to get louder. Focusing on your breathing. Count of 3 in, hold for a count of 3, let go through your mouth for a count of 5 to 6 if you can. and just pay attention to that for like 5 minutes. The more that you clear the space, the more that you make room to be quiet and let that voice speak to you, the louder it's going to get. So the second thing is practice asking questions of your intuition. What do I need right now? What is this that I'm feeling right now? What is it that I need to do to be able to whatever? Help me remember. Help me find. If you're asking questions of your intuition, it's more inclined to answer you. And the more that you pay attention, obviously, the louder it's going to get. Number 3 is notice your body's responses. You get tense. You feel really relaxed. When you're with a particular person, that's your intuition saying, this is somebody that you need to be around more often. And what does that mean? It means that this is a good person to be around. If I'm feeling tension, my throat's tightened up, my chest is tightened up, obviously you're in a situation that is not good for you. Number 4, my favorite, always, keeping a journal. Keeping a journal of the hits and the outcomes. That helps you build your confidence. Even if it's a small little notebook that you carry around with you, and like, okay, I got this hit to take a different route to work. And you get to work and you realize that there was a bad accident, but you bypassed it because you happened to go a different way. That is your hit and your outcome. So write those down, and the more that you write them down, again, it's going to build your confidence, and it's going to get that voice to be able to speak louder. And number 5 is experiment with yes, no, based on your intuition, at least once a week, and then observe the results. So I use a pendulum. You can use a coin. The whole eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that's a great one because your intuition is always going to go with the one that you really want. Even if you land on the opposite of what you want, your brain's going to go, I really don't want that one. How many times as a kid did you go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, end up on something that you didn't want to be, oh, no, that's not the right one, because that's your intuition talking to you and saying, this is the one I really want. And it's a great way to do that. If you have a coin, flip a coin. It's the same thing. I use my pendulum. Yes, no. I have a little board that I use. I use on my hand. I know what yes means, what no means, but it's because I've been working with this pendulum. Actually, I have 2 of them that I work with all the time. One that I carry with me everywhere I go. If you're using it for yes, no, it's a great way to get an answer. So again, the power of intuition. You need to quiet the noise, clear the clutter that's in there, listen to your body. What's going on? How do I feel? Start tracking those small little hits, validate your intuition, reflect on it when it paid off, and build your confidence by making it a habit to act on those intuitive hits. So if you like this, give this a thumbs up, hit that reminder bell when it comes up, and subscribe if this is something that resonated with you. And most of all, don't forget to live life adventurously. Bye.